It's the summer of surrender, so stay tuned to the very end of our episode to hear a testimony that puts what we learned today in action. We can't wait to hear how it inspires your faith.
If I did not simply live from one moment to another, it would be impossible for me to be patient. But I look only at the present, I forget the past, and I take good care not to forestall the future. Saint Therese of Lisieux.
Ooh, she's good.
My past, O Lord, to your mercy, my present to your love, my future to your providence, St. Padre Pio. The past does not belong to me, the future is not mine. With all my soul I try to make use of the present moment, St. Faustina. As to the past, let us entrust it to God's mercy, the future to divine providence. Our task is only to live holy in the present moment, St. Gianna Molla. And trust the past to the mercy of God, the present to his love, and the future to his providence, St. Augustine. The saints got it, guys. They understood that surrendering your past, your present, and your future is so pivotal. And in order to leave everything to his mercy, his providence, and to just love and be holy in the present moment, there's a lot more baggage in there.
Yeah.
For a lot of us. And so surrendering your past, present, and future looks a lot like inner healing. Looks a lot like working through wounds, which is kind of what we've been talking about this whole time. And looks a lot like embracing the cycle of surrender so that you really can embrace being holy in the present moment and giving the rest to God.
With that, we invite you to the Summer of Surrender. I had a reaction to every single quote that you read because I didn't know how many you were going to do. And I was just like, wow, oh, yeah. And then you said St. Gianna. I'm like, oh, that's my confirmation saint. She's so wise.
I knew I picked well. Really, she picked you.
That's fair.
But, yes, I think there's something really pivotal about the fact, and I'm sure, like, they all say these things, you know, I forget the past, or I leave it to your mercy. The past doesn't belong to me anymore. Like, those things are so important because we get so hung up on the past. And we have got to surrender it, okay? Like, it's done. It's gone. And this is a temperament thing, too, because some of us never forget things. We ruminate on it, and we're like, this happened 6 months ago. You said this, and it hurt me forever. And the other person's like, I did?
I mean, I did first. I'm like, oh, that was really crappy. Sorry.
Yes, I have no idea. Like I don't even remember that. It is, some people take it hard, some people take it light, or even how we respond to our past mistakes. Some people make light of their mistakes and it makes them feel better. Other people don't. They take them really hard and it crumples them within. But either way, our past is the past. And when it comes up, we need to leave it to God's mercy. And I love that they say that because a lot of times when I have memories come up, I love to do that little activation where I ask Jesus where he was when this happened. To invite him into the memory and to let him heal it. Oof. And as John Eldredge likes to talk about, letting him reunite that piece of me back into that inner temple where he dwells.
That is a powerful
so
thing.
Good. I will link that episode with John Eldredge, who went on Pints with Aquinas. I think I can also tag related videos on Spotify, so I'll do that too. That they talk about. He talks about praying through that and not only asking Jesus where he was to handle some really big trauma, but allowing Jesus to take that little piece of you, because a lot of trauma work and psychologists say that there are individual pieces of you stuck at different ages based on the trauma you endured, because your brain, that's how it disconnects and keeps you safe.
Yeah.
And so allowing Jesus to take that 9-year-old you's hand, that 13-year-old you, that 2-year-old you's hand, and be reunited in that place in your heart where he dwells, where you go to meet him, where he knocks at the door, and you have to open it to him, is so incredible. And I think that's a huge way to surrender your past to Jesus, because the past can keep us trapped. It can keep us locked in those fears, locked in those vices that we talked about. It can affect our friendships, our spouses, our parenthood, our children. All of it. All of it. But we have so much freedom in Christ that we can just, hand it back to him.
Yeah.
and let him transform it. And then it transforms you in the present moment. One of the hardest things to grasp is the concept that God is not bound by time.
Yeah. Oh, this is wild. Go ahead.
I was like,
I love this topic.
Like, the fact that, like, salvation history happened, like, Jesus was crucified, but he is continuously being crucified, and he will continue to, like, live out this story in the Bible, because it is happening in parallel, in tandem to us. It's, because he's not confined by time, which, you know, Christ now and forever.
And I think that's partially, like, especially going back to our Lenten episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I get so emotional at the Triduum.
Oh, yeah.
Is because, like, it's not just in the past.
No, every one of my sins to this day crucifies him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like...
Whips him at the scourging.
Yeah.
Like, and when
I sit here and I think about the sins that I've made in my life, and I think about the suffering that they added to him, it breaks my heart. But my broken heart is also a consolation to him in that time.
The atonement we make for our sins, and truly just our desire to wipe his face, to say, I'm so sorry.
And the desire to do better.
That from you.
And the correct actions to do so.
Yes. And our loving of others and helping them to encounter him, that soothes his crucifixion.
Yeah.
That soothes his wounds. So many of the saints were like, that was their mission, was to soothe our dying crucified Lord.
Yeah.
And they did that in a lot of penance. There are a lot of saints that did very intense penances. They were almost like victim souls.
Yeah.
And they converted thousands of souls that they never knew, because their only desire was to love the crucified and dying Jesus and to soothe his wounds. And oh my gosh, they have incredible stories. Kind of like, oh crap, like, please not me stories.
Well, or even the ones with the powerful conversion stories. Like, if you think you've done really awful things, just read some of the lives of the saints, okay? It gets worse.
Heck, you could read Acts. I mean,
So, but even, like, think about the sins committed by that person, how those sins affected the Lord. You know, so my point is, if you feel like you're a goner, you're not.
No. That's the beauty about this. And it's all, like, one strand, right? We talked about fear locking us down and us not making kingdom progress and stuff like that a couple episodes back. But it's the same here. Like, if the fear in your past, the wounds in your past lock you down, they affect how you act now and in the future. Yeah. My kids love to watch the Tuttle Twins show on Angel Studios. And the reason I bring it up is because they did a little extra bonus episode called Money Mayhem. And
I think I saw this one with you guys.
It's funny because they play like Jumanji, but that's copyrighted, so it's generic Manji. And they have this whole adventure in their house, learning, because one of them is really scrupulous with their money and one of them spends all of their money. And so they learn the balance of saving and spending and budgeting. But something that their future selves show up and say is, what you do today is a gift for yourself tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's the same here, spiritually.
Yeah.
Is that if you are forgiving and kind and producing the fruits of the Spirit within yourself yesterday, that is a gift for your tomorrow. If you're dying to your vices, that's a gift for your tomorrow. It's not just in this moment. And, you know, you have to remind yourself, another episode I did before we were Holy Surrender was, it's just a season, it'll pass. And, you know, like, Christ had to know, too, that the crucifixion wasn't forever.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be, like, crucified when he actually went through it. Again, the time thing makes it weird. But
it does.
He knows the crucifixion will not be forever, because there is this eternal kingdom of perfection waiting. Yeah. He knows it's just a season and it will pass. Yeah. And they were talking about how your actions affect that. You can't look at it and say, oh man, I have to give up this thing. I'm gonna be in dresses forever. Okay? Or
peep the last episode.
Yes, exactly.
You'll get that reference.
Or I'm gonna be eating this way forever. No, it's a season, okay? And God has that season very intentionally in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because your past is you're either giving something to yourself or you're stealing from yourself.
Yeah.
That was a big, just watching that in that episode, I have to be reminded,
Yeah.
Not just financially, but if you're not praying now, you're stealing from yourself tomorrow.
Yep.
If you're not stewarding your time, talent, treasure, your body, mind, soul, and emotions, you're stealing from yourself tomorrow. It's rough, but that's why surrendering your past, your present, and your future is so important.
Yeah.
And if you can practice, and we've talked about this a lot, but it's still a piece of this, that like giving the present moment to God is, asking what you need to do for your kids, for your household, asking Him how you need to care for yourself, asking Him all of these things, being in prayer throughout the day, in conversation with Him. That is the present moment.
Yeah.
And that's really impactful.
There's that cliche, it's called the present for a reason.
Yes. It's a gift.
It is. And you have to be present to enjoy the present.
100%. 100%. And you can't, to that effect, be locked into the future.
Right.
Where we're going to refer back to the fear thing that we talked about, the control thing. If you're like, if I do this exactly right, nothing bad will happen.
Yeah.
Because we lock ourselves into that.
We do.
If everyone wears their seatbelts, nothing bad will happen. Right? If everybody dresses this way, acts this way, follows the rules, nothing bad will happen.
Life is not a formula.
It's not a formula. And there's a reason for that, because, sin, and because God is, I don't know, He's both and. He's formulaic, but He's also go with the flow.
Yeah. He's go with our flow because we're not formulaic.
Yes, exactly. That free will He loves to give us. And some are more formulaic than others. I was like, wait.
Hold on.
I'm pretty formulaic.
Tracks with us very well.
Yes, for sure. The point being that's why the saints are like, focus on my present to your love, okay? With all my soul, I make use of the present moment. My task is to live wholly in the present moment. The present is given to His love. Like, all those things. I only look at the present. Because it would be impossible for me to be patient. I love that Saint Therese said that.
Oh.
Yes. And the one before it that I didn't read was, consider all the past as nothing, and say, like David, now I begin to love my God. St. Francis de Sales. And like Belinda reminded us, like, just begin again.
Yeah.
That is so many places. Just begin again.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if you have a bad day, we talked about this in the Parenthood or the Children episode, where I was like, look, some days my offerings are just that meager. They're just that bad. But I still give them to God, or I give them to the Blessed Mother to make better.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful way to wrap the present and give it to God. Because after the day is over, it becomes the past.
Right.
To make sure that you forgive. To make sure that you, if you need to ponder for a few days and then forgive, or then have the discussion, that's okay. But God is going to use that to influence your present and your future. Mm-hmm. The state of your soul and your responsiveness to God and your surrender is your choice. Your past, how you respond to it, your present, how you respond to it, and your future is your choice. God is a good parent, so He's like,
yeah, very much so.
Natural consequences. You pick this thing, here's what's gonna happen.
Best lessons, actually.
Yes, and natural consequences can be good or bad. There is positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement.
And I would say your attitude about all of these things is really important as well.
So important.
I know there was, and we'll kind of touch on this in the next episode too, but there was a gentleman that came for prayer, and he loved this man. He's such a sweetheart. but he's kind of a negative Nelly. And it's because his life has not turned out the way that he wanted it to. And part of that is because he's always looking at the past and at the future. And he's totally missing the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard for him. And I do think it's getting better. But it's really hard for him to... you miss a lot of things when you're not in the present moment. And then those things become the past, and then you're still looking back. It's like a cycle. Like, you just keep looking back on what you missed out on because he can't bring it to the middle.
Your more formulaic people will do that because they think if they can calculate the past, it'll project the future.
Right.
But, sometimes, again, in that formula, you forget to account for the present actions.
Right.
And you're so busy calculating for the past that you miss the present, and then the future gets out of hand.
Yeah.
And so surrendering that, it looks like being willing and vulnerable and trusting that working through your wounds with God and letting Him lead you piece by piece through it is actually going to give you the ability to live in the present. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it will give you the ability to forgive others more freely and to bless others when you do them wrong. And it doesn't mean like you have to look at the person you wronged and be like, I'm asking God to bless you, because that would be kind of weird. But, if you get pulled over for speeding, be like, Lord, thank you for that cop. Please bless him and his job. He did exactly what he should have, Or if someone yells at you, like, Lord, just bless their day, if you cut them off in traffic and you didn't mean to. Like, there are so many places where you can pray blessings over others and they never know it was you. And you may never know what fruits that produced, but you are using the present for the positive. Because if you feel bad and you're like, oh man, I just feel bad because I did this, the only control that you have is to give it to God. The only control that you have is to say, like, God, please bless this person. Magnify the fruits in their life. Whatever.
Sorry,
Are you giggling at me?
No, I'm losing it over here. My allergies.
Oh, okay, I was like, I don't recall saying anything
again.
particularly emotional. It's okay. They're here for it.
It's fine. We went to the zoo this morning and I forgot to take my allergy medicine.
Oh, darn.
And for those of you that don't know, I'm allergic to everything outside, so.
Except Johnson grass.
Which is my maiden name.
It's so funny. It is funny.
The Lord is humorous.
He's cute. But hey, you'll never forget that.
Exactly.
You'll never forget that. So,
yes.
This is us living in the present.
The lady in the allergy.
Consequences.
The lady in the allergy department was like, wow, you're off the charts for everything except for this one thing.
You're off the chart.
Great.
Thanks.
An avocado. Every time you say it like that, that's what I think of.
Oh, goodness. I guess, guys, I'm just a walking meme to Haley. It's okay. It's fine.
Sometimes. Live in the present, Jill. It's funny.
Glad I could be a gift to you.
You are. Love to love you.
So this week's worksheet, we will have on there maybe like some columns. It's kind of what I'm picturing. Past, present, future.
Yeah, good idea.
So you can kind of put down the things that you're struggling with in each area and some ways to pray through those. And of course, we have scripture on every single one of these worksheets. So if you're not on our email list, you will want to be, because we are sending these out every week. With every one of these, you get an activation worksheet that you can click and print or read in your email and copy into your journal. Because we think it's really important that that's available to you to take deeper if you need it. And we all need it, trust me, because we're kind of praying through them as we create them.
Very much so.
Very much so. So we'll have that, so you can kind of be like, okay, Lord, where do I need to start? My past, my present, my future, and what's coming up.
Yeah. And
then how to pray through it. Because living in the present is much more impactful than we realize. And if a gazillion of the saints talked about it, like, we can have hope for the future. That's a good thing.
Yes.
We can look forward to it, but we should not dwell in an unhealthy way in either way. Yeah. And leaving the past to God's mercy knows that, like, you know that as it comes up, God is already taking care of it in your heart and in others. And it's always an opportunity to pray blessing over those people and say, hey, Lord, I know that I was a bad influence. I know that I made poor choices and that impacted people. I just ask that you bless them and like you heal that wound I created.
Yeah.
And like praying through that allows you to leave it in the past.
If you are having a hard time getting out of the past or the future, because the future, if you're stuck in the future, it's more like anxiety, right? Like, and none of this is to say don't prepare for the future. Like, we've got my kids' enrollments coming up, my shot that's really expensive coming up. We have to prepare for those things that we know are coming. That's just being smart. But if I am anxious about my finances because of these things, that's something to pray about.
Philippians 4 says, like, that you should not be anxious, but with prayer and thanksgiving and supplication, take everything to God.
Right. So we do see this more often with the past. If you are having problems getting out of the past and these memories just keep haunting you, you've prayed through it and it's still coming up, you might need to have a prayer session and talk to somebody and kind of work through those things with a prayer team.
Yep, that would be super helpful. You're like, okay, you recommend that every time, but that's because it's that pivotal.
It's so good.
It is. It's very intimate. And it's anonymous in a way. Like, what stays in a prayer said in a prayer session stays in a prayer session. The Lord is gracious to effectively give those praying with you Holy Spirit amnesia.
Yeah.
You don't remember.
Yes. I remember you and the connection that we had, but I don't remember every detail about your life.
Yes, and that's because when you have left it to God's mercy and it is healed, it's like when he appeared to Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque. I think that's how you say that. The devotion to the Sacred Heart that's what he gave to her. And her confessor was like, we need to be sure, we need to discern that this is Jesus. And so he asked her to ask Jesus what her last mortal sin was. And he goes, when she asked Jesus, he goes, I don't remember.
Oh.
Because when you are forgiven, you are forgiven. He means it.
I love that.
Isn't it powerful? Like, truly, that is the power of confession.
Yeah.
Is that it has truly been wiped from you. He does not hold it against you. Yeah. He does not remember. And those words, yes, those words sit with me. And so you might, when you pray through things, you might have the memory, but it doesn't sting like it used to.
Right.
And you're able to pour out blessing and thanksgiving and take your requests to God. So, past, present, future, another really good one that we probably spend a lot of time on. So if you love it, like it, share it, let us know that we should do more on this. You can always comment wherever you are. YouTube, Spotify, I'm not sure about Apple, but definitely YouTube and Spotify. You can comment and let us know what you think. You can always DM us too. And please like it, please follow us, please subscribe on YouTube, ring the notification bell so you don't miss what we're posting and that you leave it on your to-do list to listen to. We send these out at 7 a.m. every Monday, and the email comes at 7 a.m. on Mondays too. So stick with us. It's going to be good. We're really building to this cycle of surrender.
Get me closer!
Just a couple more weeks, guys.
We can't take it!
Putting the finishing touches on it. We're, editing it. It's going to be great, and we're hoping that it turns into something even greater than just, a cute little e-resource. So, it's going to be a wild ride. Next time, we'll be talking about surrendering your outcomes. So, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Hello, guys. I'm very excited to have Krista back. She has shared some of her testimony before, but today she is going to share a short testimony about surrendering her past and her present. And of course, always looking forward to what God will do in the future. So we can't wait to hear.
I guess it was 10 years ago. I was in this situation where I was married to a guy and we were newlyweds. It hadn't been a year and lots of problems were happening. He was having some mental problems. Turns out he had traumatic brain injury, which went along with some temper issues, some anger outburst issues, and destroying property. It wasn't a safe place to be. And I was like, I know this is not right, but he's my husband and I don't know how to get through this. So I was I was praying a rosary every day, and my prayer was for him to change, for him to get better, for us to put all these mistakes behind us and to that God would heal our marriage. And I just asked Mary to help so much and laid it at her feet. And she took it, and it became abundantly clear that I was supposed to leave the marriage. And the things that happened in my life, it ended up I was having to call um government officials to let them know some of the things that my husband was doing, and they got involved. And I was being a little bit manipulated. We were living with his parents. His parents were enabling him. And I was also young and eager to please and just not in a good space to make the right decision on my own. And looking back, perhaps it's a lot more clear. Yeah, that was the right decision. But I'm telling you, I loved the guy and I chose to marry him and I was trying to own up to that choice. And it was difficult. And Mary and Jesus just led me through to make the right choices. They just held my hand and put the pieces into place. And I just know I've never felt so strongly that they were there helping me because there's no way I could have done that on my own with all the emotions I was tied up into and all the emotions with my in-laws that were influencing me. So I flew home to Texas. That was in Pennsylvania. And and got an annulment, easy peasy. And the next step was moving on to what am I going to do with my life? And I think I had gotten into that bad situation in the first place because I made marriage an idol. So I thought to myself, well, what can I do to move my life forward? And I thought, well, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make my own dreams come true and stop waiting on a husband. Like, because, my dream was to be married and
Mhm.
do homestead stuff. And I was like, well, what if that's not what God has planned? What if, how am I going to get a homestead by myself if God doesn't choose to give me a husband on my timeline? So I got a big girl job, and then months later, I met Matt online. And I think a lot of people say when you know, you just know. And that was true for me. We started talking every day. And then when we met, we started visiting from Texas to Kansas, twice a month. It was a long trip, but twice a month is about what we did it. And then got engaged, did the marriage thing, and kids started coming. And it was it was difficult because I was had 5 kids in 5.5 years, and I felt like I was pregnant all the time. And I also don't feel like I was cut out to be this super cookie cutter mom in that kids aren't my favorite, especially young kids. And they don't come with a manual.
No.
And if you don't practice when you're younger, sometimes it can be really difficult to know what to do. So, um, I guess in a way I had to surrender that and just be like, God, I have all these kids. I don't know how to parent them. And life is overwhelming. And he gave me friends and he gave me our mom's group.
Hmm.
And he put the right people in my life to support and help me with the day-to-day stuff. And, I have when you're newlywed, you work through these emotions about how to communicate and get along with your husband. And when you start having kids so soon, so fast, some of that gets stuffed aside. But
Hmm.
still, I'm learning to not make an idol out of Matt, my husband now, and not expect him to do grandiose performing things and meet all my emotional needs and to provide all the help that I ask for. So that means that I reach out to my friends that are female to do all the girl blah 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 talking. And I reach out to my older friends who are couples or have lots of kids who've been through the gauntlet and can give me good advice. And there's also the element of with my past wounds and Matt's past wounds with my stepkids about, well, are we going to screw up our children? And it's like, okay, I surrender to you, Lord, that I will not screw up my children, or just to, like let that go, let that thought go,
Mhm.
and let trust that God is in control, that they are God's children, and He loves them more than I do, and wants more good things for them than I could ever dream of. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like the day-to-day what I'm surrendering now.
Yeah, and then the Lord obviously is fully in control, like fully sees the future part of that we don't see,
Mhm.
which would be nice sometimes. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's a crazy story and a beautiful story and an intense story. So, but I'm very grateful that you're willing to share with us, and I know it'll impact a lot of people. So,
Stories help. They can change lives.
amen to that. Testimony is very important.